Well, from a tech attack to a tech scam, a series of arrests in India have been linked to a significant drop in the number of Canadians receiving those phony phone calls from people claiming to work for the Canada Revenue Agency. Earlier this month, Indian police raided a string of call centres. They seized hundreds of hard drives, laptops and phones and arrested 70 workers and questioned many others. The call centres were suspected of scamming people around the world. Maybe you've gotten one of these calls by pretending to be the tax man.
It has emerged that these bogus call centers were in the business of making calls to the innocent American taxpayers, innocent citizens.
All right, let's go to Salima Shivji now with more on this story and the impact the arrests have had.
Yeah, and an impact here in Canada as well, Ian. The RCMP is now saying, more than 2 weeks after those major arrests all the way in India, that there is definitively a link between those arrests and a massive drop in complaints over what's called this CRA scam here. Now, as you heard initially, Indian police had actually said that those 70 workers were suspected of pretending to be IRS agents when they were dealing with American citizens that they were calling. But that scam, really just a model that is slightly modified based on the country that the people are calling. So when they're calling Canadians, the callers pretend to be from Canada's Revenue Agency looking for a bogus tax payment. They threaten arrest sometimes, threaten seizure of homes if the person doesn't send money, and prepaid credit cards usually. Now, we've talked a lot about this scam. We even talked to an Ontario woman who actually got a call, realized what it was, that it was a scam. She sobbed and acted upset, and then ended up actually getting the overseas caller to back down from those threats and admit what exactly he was doing. Take a listen.
You also will be arrested, so make sure keep this thing in your mind that what happens to your children after that. Now let me tell you one thing, no need to cry. One thing over here, do not get worried about anything, because this is whatever we have told you is totally wrong. This is a scam, and we were just trying to take money out of you.
Now, that is just an example, no indication whether that's connected to those arrests. But what the RCMP are saying today is that they are now working on tracking down associates of those who are arrested in India who are actually working here in Canada. They're actually asking anyone with information to come forward.
There's so many versions of the scam. One pretends to be Microsoft security. This one has to do with pretending to be the tax man. And these arrests have had a significant, measurable impact on the scam.
A big impact. The Better Business Bureau actually, Ian, says this is huge, partly because of how prevalent this scam is. They say virtually everybody has heard of this or received one of those calls, even if they haven't fallen for it. But let's first take a closer look at how many Canadians have lost out because of scams like these. There have been 1,900 victims since January 2014 who have lost more than $5.7 million. But that's not even the full picture, since only 5% of cases are reported, since those who fall for this scam generally are embarrassed about it and don't want to come forward and talk about it. Now, after these arrests, the Better Business Bureau says it has seen the number of victims go way down. Take a listen.
In the week prior to the raid, from October 3rd to the 6th, they reported 385 reports of this scam to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre. The week after the raid, just 25. So we're looking at like a 90% drop-off right out of the hop. So, and that's the same kind of indication that we're getting from American BBBs and American news stations as well. So this is really good for North Americans in general.
So good news doesn't mean the scam has stopped, it's just slowed down. So the RCMP and the CRA are actually still reminding people to be vigilant. The CRA always reminding people and putting up ads and posters actually saying that, you know, they won't call, they won't use aggressive language if they do call, they won't ask for prepaid credit cards, and they absolutely will not threaten, arrest, or send police in your direction.
And do not give out your personal information over the phone or online to somebody. It's, you know, chances are it is a scam. Thank you very much, Salima.
You're welcome.